Some new numbers released from the Oregon Department of Education show good news when it comes to high school graduation rates. Foxville's Joe Vithiathil is here to break down the numbers. And Joe, there's one, in fact, that could be having a positive impact, right?
Right, Kim. Yeah, a little background here first. For a long time, graduation rates in Oregon improved gradually every year until the COVID-19 pandemic. Then in 1 year, graduation rates dropped 2 full percentage points year over year. Now, little by little, those numbers climbed back up, and now Oregon has surpassed its pre-pandemic mark to post its highest graduation rate for high school students ever. According to the Oregon Department of Education, the class of 2025 had an 83% overall on-time graduation rate. That's up more than a full percentage point from the year before, and it beats the previous all-time high from 2020. It represents about 1,500 more students getting their diplomas, and the improvements have been widespread, including with groups that have historically been left behind. You see here, migrant students saw a nearly 83% graduation rate, right at the state average there. Special education students saw a 72% graduation rate. That is up more than 4 points from last year, and it is nearly 20 points higher than a decade ago. And while more than 71% of students experiencing poverty graduated, that is a 2-point improvement from last year. In a statement today, the director of the Oregon Department of Education writes, quote, "This graduating class shows what's possible when students are supported and expectations are clear." She continues, Dr. Charlene Williams, "It also reminds us that our work starts much earlier with strong literacy, steady attendance, and the support students need to stay on track from their first day of school to their last." So Kim was talking about this one big factor that can contribute to graduation rates, and that is the fact that this was the first class graduating class since the pandemic that spent all 4 years doing in-person instruction. Again, since the pandemic, this is the first class to spend all 4 years in person. And by the way, of all the different groups measured by the ODE, the highest graduation rates are for students who complete at least 2 credits in a career or technical education program. They graduated at a rate of almost 98%, which is more than 15 points above the state average. Kim and Shauna, back to you.